Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be ranking Chelsea's transfer window out of 10. Obviously there's been pluses, negatives, a lot, so we're going to discuss all of it today. Please like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're new around here, and comment down your rankings down below. I'll reply to every single opinion down there. So we're going to start off with the outgoings first. We had a huge list of outgoings. A lot of youngsters coming through the academy, going on permanent sales, but a lot of buyback clauses placed in those contracts. But we'll start off with Fikayo Tomori to AC Milan for £25 million. Obviously, he had that buyout clause put in during his loan move from January, and AC Milan would have been absolute donkeys if they did not activate that buyout clause. Next, we have Tammy Abraham, been at Chelsea since the age of 7, I think. He went to Roma, following Fikayo Tomori to Italy for £34 million. I'll read you out all the loan moves. So Michy Batshuayi went to Besiktas, Armando Broja went to Southampton on loan, Willy Caballero's contract expired alongside Izzy Brown, Jamal Blackman as well. So they just got contract expires, no contract extensions for them. Pierre-Edouard Alimbi was sold to West Ham. He's a youngster, up-and-coming youngster. Danilo Pantic was also sold to Partizan Belgrade. Nathan Baxter went on loan to Hull, and then we get to Billy Gilmour, who went on loan to Norwich City. I want to talk a little bit more about this one in a minute, but I think it's been a great bit of business to send Billy Gilmour out on loan to get first team football. But if we didn't do that, then we wouldn't have had to bring in Saul Niguez on deadline day. Then we got Victor Moses to Spartak Moscow, Juan Castillo to Birmingham on loan, I've not heard of him, apologies. Olivier Giroud to AC Milan for a couple of million. Mark Guehi to Crystal Palace. When people talk about Chelsea's transfer window and outgoings, they mainly talk about Abraham, Tomori, who are the other big ones? Zuma. But no one talks about Mark Guehi. They forgot that Crystal Palace paid £20 million for the youngster. Lewis Bate was sold to Leeds. Henry Lawrence went on loan to AFC Wimbledon. Tino Livramento, another big one, sold to Southampton. He's started every game for Southampton so far. Jamie Cumming went on loan to Gillingham. Jack Wakely went to Wycombe Wanderers on a free. Ian Matson went on loan to Coventry. Jake Clarks also went to Coventry as well on loan. Emerson Palmieri went on loan to Lyon to get some first team football over in France. Matt Miazga went to Alaves on loan. Ike Ogbo has gone to Genk permanently, and I think he's going to have a big season, Ike Ogbo. He got brought on as a substitute and scored the winner in 87th minute the other day. Kurt Zouma went to West Ham for £30 million after I think 8 years at the club. Timmy Bakayoko went to AC Milan on a 2-year loan move. Danny Drinkwater went on loan to Reading, and Dujon Sterling went on loan to Blackpool. So the big ones there are Tomori, Abraham, Gilmour, Guehi, Livramento, and Emerson, and Zuma, and Ogbo. There are so many outgoings for Chelsea this summer transfer window. I think bringing in a lot of money for 30 mil for Kurt Zouma, 34 mil for Tammy Abraham, 25 mil for Fikayo Tomori, 20 mil for Mark Guehi. All of these don't get into the Chelsea first team. None of them start. And overall, I'm pretty sure we gained about £110 million from outgoings this summer. Then we get into the ingoings. What's the word? Additions. Get into the additions. Obviously, quite early on in the summer, we signed Marcus Bettinelli from Fulham on a free after his contract ran out to replace Willy Caballero, whose contract expired at Chelsea. We then got Romelu Lukaku from Inter Milan, the big player, £97.5 million in the end. And then on deadline day, I may have had a minor heart attack, but we did manage to get Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid on loan. Quick little fact, apparently Saul Niguez's papers from Chelsea arrived 2 minutes before the deadline. So if you were 2 minutes later, you wouldn't have been signing Saul. And in turn, could have been a little bit short in the midfield department. The sort of negative from this transfer window is probably that we have lost some players with huge potentials. Tomori, Abraham and Guehi, they're 3 that we haven't got a buyback clause for. Well, Abraham we do, but it's like £65 million. And I don't see Chelsea spending that much money on him in the near future or the distant future. So I think Tammy Abraham, Tomori and Guehi, we got to say goodbye to. Billy Gilmour going on loan has been a good bit of experience, I think. I think it would be very influential in his career, getting first team experience in the Premier League, the top level, for a whole season. And then Tino Livramento also going to Southampton. We sold him for £5 million. as a 17-year-old. That is mental. We did put in a buyback clause, but it is apparently worth about £40 million. So maybe in the future, he could definitely be worth that when he's maybe 22, 23. Hopefully, we sign him back because not that we need him. Reece James is a baller, but Tino Livramento would also be nice to have back sometime. Kurt Zuma as well obviously went. We didn't end up signing a centre-half, but with Trevor Chalobah coming back from loan, I think Malang Sarr stayed in the end. Reece James having the capability of dropping into right centre-back role, we have more than enough options. And the fact that we do play a back three, we're not going to be like Liverpool last season in the centre-back department. Their best defender in Van Dijk, Gomez and Matip all got injured, so they were forced to play with Nat Phillips and who was the other one? Fabinho at centre-back when he wasn't injured, and then Henderson at centre-back, and when he wasn't injured, it was Reece Williams. If Christensen or Rudiger or Aspi get injured, then our second choice defence would still be Thiago Silva in the middle, probably Reece James at right centre-back and Trevor Chalobah at left centre-back. That is a quality defence. Callum Hudson-Odoi would obviously have to fit in at that right wing-back role, and I want to touch on him for a second as well. As on deadline day and a few days before that, there were a lot of links linking him to Borussia Dortmund, as Borussia Dortmund spoke to Hudson-Odoi, promised him game time over in Germany, told him, look what we've done to Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham, Erling Haaland, some world-class talents. We've transformed them. We'll play you in your natural position, your favourite position as left wing, cutting inside. You're going to have a balling time this season over here. He was open to the move, but Thomas Tuchel and the Chelsea squad weren't, as Thomas Tuchel rates him too highly to let him go on loan. He's technically our second choice right wing back. I think if we did sign Hakimi, Hudson-Odoi would have gone on loan. Another very interesting one is Emerson Palmieri to Lyon. I think it's a great move for him. I've never loved Emerson as a player. He's always been decent, came in from Roma as one of the best left backs in the league. Never really set the world alight in Chelsea. I think he almost accepted that he wasn't ever going to be a first choice left wing back or left back at Chelsea behind Alonso and Chilwell, obviously last season, but behind Alonso before Chilwell even joined. And I feel like maybe he was just sitting there waiting for the odd game in the Carabao Cup, but never really trying as hard as he really could to get in and break into the first team. That is until he had his first taste of European glory and winning the Champions League. He didn't play a huge part, but he obviously got just to seal the win against Atletico Madrid. And I've seen a lot of interviews saying that he loves that feeling. Who wouldn't? Being so influential, winning the European trophy. And then over the summer, he went and won the Euros with Italy, playing a big role in their squad. Even when Spinazzola was a huge player in that tournament, when he got injured, Emerson did a great job, to be fair. And in the final, I may have underestimated him, but he definitely pocketed Mason Mount. Now I'm going to analyse some of the big ingoings. We only had 3. It is interesting. I would say it's probably one of our best transfer windows in a very long time, but we did only sign 3 players in the end, and one's just a third choice keeper. Another one in Saul Niguez is a 4th choice midfielder. I don't see him dropping straight into the first team. I think Kante and Jorginho is the first choice midfield. Obviously with Kante injured at the moment, Jorginho and Kovacic do work well together. They're always on the same wavelength. Defending is not their strength, and neither is attacking really. They're both there. Jorginho to relieve the pressure through passing, and Kovacic to relieve the pressure through driving forwards and 3 players. So now Saul Niguez would obviously bring us a bigger picture in defending in the midfield, and also going forward as well. Here's a long shot on him, and that is something that we haven't really seen under Thomas Tuchel. The midfield don't really contribute to goals, scoring them or assisting them really. Unlike other teams, we get our goals and assists mainly through the front 3, but when they're not firing or just need a little bit extra help, we look to the wing backs in Reece James and at the moment Marcos Alonso. So I'm glad Saul Niguez has been brought in as a backup midfielder, as Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic don't really have what it takes. I think Kante is too injury prone, Kovacic is quite inconsistent, and Jorginho, he has his off game. And those 3 for a whole season in 5 different competitions, I think would have been a bit too much. But having Saul Niguez in there as well is perfect. And I think Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel analysed him and thought he was the perfect midfielder to come in. And then lastly, but not leastly, Romelu Lukaku, the missing piece of the Thomas Tuchel puzzle. Now we obviously did win the Champions League with Timo Werner playing up front. That's a feat in itself. But now having Romelu Lukaku, one of the best strikers, one of the biggest, fastest, strongest strikers in the world, that is definitely not going to hamper us. It's going to take us forward. Our trajectory right now is going through the roof. Thomas Tuchel wanted the big striker who can play with his back to goal, also able to run through the lines, and just a complete striker. There's not many of them in world football anymore. Haaland and Lukaku are the only real complete strikers. And we obviously brought in Lukaku. For £100 million is our world record transfer. We broke our transfer record. We almost beat the Premier League transfer record with Jack Grealish costing literally a couple of £1 million more. And also it is a massive statement showing that Arsenal splashing 50 million on Ben White, 30 million on Aaron Ramsdale, and then 20 million on Lokonga. Overall, they spent more on what Lukaku cost. And I think Lukaku is one of the best strikers in the world. And Ramsdale, Ben White, Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, Odegaard, God, they're not great, are they? I feel a little bit bad for Arsenal fans. But now for the moment you've all been waiting for, my rating, my ranking of our window, including the income, the additions, the outgoings, how much we bought players for, how much we sold players for, the losses on money like Timmy Bakayoko. Cost 40 million a couple of years ago and we're struggling to get him out on loan. Actually 2-year loan, that would be good. Get him out my club for another couple of years. And eventually, the loan costings could eventually add up to that 40 million. Overall, I'm going to rate the ingoings, the incomes, the additions, a solid 9 out of 10. A centre half maybe would have completed it, but honestly, I don't think we could have really done much better. I think only because Jules Koundé was there, that would have made it a 10 out of 10, but we obviously don't need him that much. Then the outgoings, obviously, we made a lot of money. We made profit. Not too many clubs can say that. We made a profit this window while spending £100 million. So I'm going to give overall a 9 out of 10. The only negative comment I can really make on our window is selling some youngsters that could have a huge future in world football, in football. But, you know, they're still human. I can't be greedy. I can't want the best youngsters. They got to have their own careers somehow. And if they're not going to get into this Chelsea team, then they got to do it somewhere, right? Hopefully we'll see the likes of Livramento, Tino Andrin. That's another one I didn't talk about. It wasn't on the Sky Sports done deals. He's gone on loan to Lokomotiv Moscow, but does have an option to buy £17 million in January, which I would be very surprised if they do not activate that amount of money. We have another buyback clause in his contract for double 17 million, for 34 million. So I'd love to see those back in. They're still 18, 19, 17. I'd love to see those guys back in Chelsea colours, maybe at the age of 23, 24. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'd like to hear your opinions on the transfer window down below. I think it's a very good window, a 9 out of 10. Probably one of the best windows in England. Maybe Man United could just pip us with Ronaldo, Sancho and Varane. But that is all for today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.